Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the Dubuis Aqua Mare with in-house caliber RT14 automatic movement. You can see this stainless steel and white gold sports watch on our website. Purchase it there, and if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full listing for this watch with additional accessories included, high resolution images, and naturally full pricing details. Now on my wrist, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference, you can see that the watch has a peculiar shape, cambered so that it arcs over the wrist. It's also remarkably slim considering just how broad and massive it is. So here are the bare measurements, not including the massive crown guards and crown cover. The watch is 41 millimeters from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock. In terms of thickness, only 12 millimeters. It's quite slim. It looks thicker than it is because of the shear of the case flank, but it's actually no thicker than a Rolex Daytona. And you'll also note that although 54 millimeters from lug to lug, the watch has a very pronounced arc or camber to its case shape. And I'll show you that to good advantage. So it does tend to wrap itself around the wrist up and over rather than flaring out at the sides. So even if you have a little bit of lug overlap at the edge of your wrist, it looks organic, it looks natural. It's not as striking as when lugs jut straight out. Moreover, the watch is beautifully paired with a broad strap, and it's nice to have a broad strap to suit broad lug spacing and a broad case. Sometimes, and the Rolex Deep Sea is the #1 perpetrator of this offense, you get an excessively thin strap or bracelet on a broad and heavy watch, and it has a tendency to torque side to side on the wrist. Not so here. Dubuis also fixing the strap to the case with screws. It's the more secure way to attach a strap to a substantial and heavy sports watch. Much more reassuring when you're investing this much than spring bars. The strap itself is dark black with a hobnail print, sort of like a quadrille print. Very handsome, subtle, nice contrast with the horizontal striations. And on the underside, beautiful detailing. You can see small relief channels to allow sweat, moisture, grit, heat to escape the wrist on a hot day during periods of activity, and a very handsome Aqua Mare Dubuis deployant clasp. You can see beautifully polished on the outside. It also features twin trigger release, so it can't accidentally pop open, and you'll note that quadrille pattern is essentially echoed in the push pins of the clasp, the same that you see in the bracelet itself. And it's that attention to detail that characterizes a Dubuis. As you can see inset within the body of the clasp, the recurring RD motif completely finished. There are no burrs, there are no machined edges, no raw stampings. It's as beautifully finished inside as it is out, and that is just the clasp. When we get to the bezel in the case, again, avant-garde, but fine finishing is the operative term. The case flank is beautifully brushed with a vertical satin striation. It features high polished and satin finished elements atop its lugs and strap junction, and then the bezel itself, which is coined outboard and features embossed indices and Arabic numerals atop, is a gorgeous polished white gold, so it adds a little bit of a tonal contrast, very, very subtle with the stainless steel of the case. And then you have that dial. Now, the first thing you might think when you see it is carbon fiber. In fact, this is guilloche that emulates the grain of carbon fiber, so you have a very traditional craft art executed to look like a modern material, but you're not losing the heart and the soul of traditional guilloche. Now, the dial is fully loomed. Numerals, indices, and hands at center, so it is a true sports watch. You can see it in low or no light conditions. And it features a remarkably elaborate crown construction. Now, to create a crown that looks in proportion with this massive case, Dubuis created a little bit of a trick of the eye. It actually has a crown sheath that folds out, and the crown itself is actually quite large, but you can see how it's dwarfed by the mass of the case. So Dubuis designers created this sheath to look like a crown and keep everything visually in proportion until you want to actually actuate the crown itself. But it has the same function as the Panerai device protecting the crown in that it gives all aspect protection from glancing and direct blows. Now, the crown itself is a screw down, and it endows this one of 888-piece special edition with superb hermeticity. 300 meters, it is a true sports watch in every sense. And you can see Inside the case, the caliber RD14. Now, this is a manufacturer automatic movement with the Geneva hallmark and a 48-hour power reserve. It uses high-efficiency, unlubricated ceramic bearings to rapidly energize itself, again, up to that 48-hour power reserve. Unlike the preceding Longines-based RD57 caliber, the RD14 is entirely in-house, and it does feature hacking seconds, again, unlike its predecessor, such that you can pull the crown, stop the balance, and precisely synchronize the watch to the second against a known accurate reference time. Now, all of the standards that you expect in a Geneva seal caliber are here. Beautiful anglage, polished screw heads with chamfered slots, tight and even perlage across the base plate, a black polished swan's neck regulator, gorgeous linear Côte de Genève striations across the winding mass, and circular Côte de Genève across the bridges, as well as a multiple finger arrangement with independent cocks for each of the train wheels. Very handsome, very traditional, and thus we have the junction of avant-garde with very traditional craft arts and watchmaking glory. In a Roger Dubuis watch that comes from the first family of Roger Dubuis sports watches, the Sports Activity watches launched in 2004. Again, this being a later rendition on that theme, it actually features the in-house caliber with the same exuberant, one might even say fun-loving visage of the Sports Activity watches. You can see this Roger Dubuis Aqua Mare in stainless steel and white gold and purchase it on our website.